Hello and welcome. My name is Asif. I wanted to talk to you guys about the African leaders currently in Russia begging Putin to stop this war. For most part of post World War history, I mean post Second World War history, it has been the white man in suits asking the Africans to stop the war. But times are changing, and now the Africans, in our case, leaders from South Africa, Egypt, the Republic of Congo, Senegal, Zambia, Uganda, and Comoros, are trying to play the role of mediator to stop the war in Ukraine. Obviously, they are not doing it for the good of their heart or for human rights purposes, no matter how much they would like it to be that way. No, Africa wants the war to stop because it has been ravaging their entire continent. Just for example, in South Africa, because of fuel shortage, there have been uh, long power cuts up to even 16 hours a day. And that's the lighter side of all the horrible things that are happening to Africa. War has broken out in several places, such as Sudan and Ethiopia. To say that these conflicts are directly a result of the Russian invasion in Ukraine is obviously a long stretch, but one cannot deny the influence. Uh, and after the invasion started, we have seen a lot of countries dealing with high inflation rate. Turkey has been having a huge inflation rate. Pakistan, Afghanistan. Well, Afghanistan had bad inflation rate since the Taliban took over, or even before the Taliban came. But let's shift our focus to Africa. Zimbabwe has been having a 92.8% inflation rate, but that's Zimbabwe. We all know that they printed money and things like that. But Ethiopia, it's like one of the strongest country in Asia. I mean, at least was before they started their civil war again. They are having 32% inflation rate. Egypt is having 31.9% inflation rate. South Sudan is having 31.3% inflation rate. Rwanda is having 30.3% inflation rate. Every week you will see or hear a new warning from the United Nations or some other international organizations about the ongoing food shortages and the upcoming food shortages in African nations and some nations in the Asia. Of course, no one really wants to talk about children dying from hunger. Instead, they would endlessly talk about, well, not talk, endlessly quarrel about the LGBTQ people and involvement of children in pride, because that shit sells a lot and media loves it. That's why they try to push it a lot. The thing about it, it makes huge headlines while the transgender population makes less than 1% of the entire population, while millions upon millions of people go hungry every single night. Both sides, the right and left, all they want to do is quarrel endlessly and bitterly about nonsensical topics, while so many people stay hungry. And I'm not just even talking about Asia and Africa, even people in Europe and America are starving. The homelessness is spreading like an epidemic in big cities like Los Angeles, right? Those places have more homeless population than even the shittiest part of my city, Dhaka. I mean, it's a third world shithole, and they still have less homeless population than a lot of big fancy cities in America. If I digress, let's come to our topic again. Well, the African leaders have had enough, so they come together to try to play the role of the mediator to break a peace between Ukraine and Russia. Of course, they are not the first country to do that. We know that China did the same thing, and Turkey, I think, has been trying, but I mean, they did broker one of the deals to export wheat. I remember that, but Yeah, in this long list of mediators, African Union has joined the game. To quote the African Union leader, and he is a president of a country, I think of Comoro or something like that. We have come to listen to you, and through you to hear the voice of the Russian people. He's talking to Putin. Very nice words from Mr. Asumani. But we all know that Putin cares more about his morning coffee or vodka than about the Russian people. These politicians and their endless garbage about like people and the concept of like majority benefits and shit like that. They don't care about the people. Their power does not come from the people. Putin's power does not come from the people. It comes from the Kalashnikovs and the tanks. And then the South African president Ramaphosa, he said that this war has to have an end. It must be settled through negotiation and through diplomatic means. Wow, great optimism. But we all know that ship has sailed a long time ago. Unfortunately, but unsurprisingly, both sides have pretty much told them to go and eat shit. I mean, they didn't use those exact words, but what they said was close to that line. First, they went to Zelensky in Kiev, and Zelensky told them that we will not start any kind of negotiation until and unless all the Russian troops vanish from our border, which is not going to happen. You cannot demand peace as a prerequisite for peace talk. What the fuck are you gonna talk about in the peace talk if your prerequisite is already peace? If the Russian soldiers leave, what are they going to negotiate about, you dumb fuck? And then they went to Russia, obviously. And Putin told them that uh, he praised them for having a balanced approach, whatever that is. Like, oh, what even is a balanced approach? Like, they are not picking sides. They have a side. It's themselves. They really want to save their ass because their economy is dying because of the war. Uh, he said the things that they have been saying since the start of the war, that we are always ready to talk. It's the other side, the Kiev and the Zelensky scumbag, they are the one that does not want to talk. So Putin just said the same thing that he said millions of times before. And yeah, that's where we kind of stand. Now, I don't know what kind of stunt the African leaders are trying to pull here. They can't even stop active wars raging in their own homelands, and those terrorists do not have intercontinental ballistic missiles and drones like Russia do. These bozos can't even fix shit in their own country, but somehow they are supposed to stop one of the biggest wars that are currently running. Give me a break. What I think is that all they really wanted to do is waste the taxpayers' dollars and then go on a nice trip to Europe to buy clothes for their kids and wives and possibly smuggle things or launder money and shit like that, whatever African leaders do. And these absolute clowns will not put an end to any war whatsoever anytime soon. So don't have faith in them, and don't like listen to all those media telling you that, oh, we are reaching such new heights. Look, the African Union is now in the game and they want the war to stop. Every single fucking person wants the war to stop, but that doesn't mean that they can even do anything. You remember what China did, right? China did absolutely nothing and it made so much headline. So what I would like to say is that next time your children go hungry, you have power cuts, you have food shortages, you have fuel shortages, Don't listen to these leaders telling you that, ooh, we have tried our best to stop the war. We went to Russia, we talked to Putin, we talked to Zelensky in Kiev. They haven't done shit. They haven't done shit. And they shouldn't have wasted all of these precious resources to go on a fucking trip to Europe. And yeah, that's all I wanted to say. uh, we are always on our own, especially the poor people. I mean, I'm not that poor, but still, like the poor people in general, they will not benefit from this whatsoever. Only the rich people will benefit by wasting the taxpayers' dollar in this peace process. Give me a break. So that's about it. See ya.